Okay, thank you, David. I hope you can hear me. And as this short introduction probably already explained, this what you are about to hear now was a software development project. And we were actually quite lucky that we could focus on this actual development work instead of writing these tons of reports that no one actually ever reads. So that being said, you will hear about the experiences of this OneClick eArchiving project. That was one of these 4 funded projects that Arpad already mentioned. We had 4 partner organizations from 3 different countries: us, Southeastern Finland University of Applied Sciences, abbreviated as XAMK, then our daughter company, DISEC, which hosts their own digital repository here in Finland. Then we had Pickle from Norway, and if I understood correctly, they will have a presentation later on, so they will introduce themselves. And then we had Estonian Academy of Arts from Estonia. So moving on, this OneClick eArchiving project, we had 4 main goals, and I will concentrate on this IP creator mostly on this short presentation. So that was our first goal, to design and implement this simple submission information package creator. And then the second goal was to make this DISEC's XA archive. I know that's a difficult word for non-Finnish people, but that's the name, XA. Their idea was to make their archive as E-ARK conformant, and they succeeded. Then Pickle, they created some extensions to Archivematica so that it can ingest E-ARK conformant IP packages and handle those according to all specifications. And then Estonian Academy of Arts, they mostly handle the tutorial productions, and they were also our pilot case. So their electronic records management system and content management system data was exported from their proprietary systems and converted into E-ARK conformant IP packages with this zip creator that I'm going to present here. So about this zip creator workflow. So basically it allows anyone everywhere without any knowledge of IP package structures to create conformant IP packages. And I know that you are wondering that why we couldn't just use these existing solutions such as Rhoda-In or ESS-ARC or these eArch tools. But as much as I hate to say it, these are not very simple solutions. Instead, they require some kind of specific knowledge about archival structures and metadata schemas and so on. In this solution, all these difficulties has been hidden in the background. So it's basically a drag and drop solution with separate backend and front end. For this demonstration that you will have the link on next slide, there is this PHP front end and Python backend, but it has been designed and implemented in such way that the backend also works without a UI. There is this Python library called watchdog, which watches certain folders, and when something comes in, it just starts creating these IP packages. So in case you don't like this PHP front end, you can just take it off and build your own front end to this backend solution. Taking this into use is quite simple. I think the biggest thing is to install Docker and make this thing run on it. But there are quite good instructions behind this link that you can see here. There's text-based instructions, and there's also video tutorials on how this should be used. When you have it, on your own computer or server, then you can change simple configuration file. Then you just build and run the Docker container, and after which you can access it via any modern web browser. So basically, if you can run Docker, then you can run this OneClick zip creator solution. And as Jamie mentioned, these multilingual trainings, these tutorial videos that are created in this project, they are already in Finnish, English, Estonian, and Norwegian. And we didn't use e-translation or AI translation. This has been translated manually, so the quality should at least be decent. Yeah, but the benefits of using this zip creator, as I said, no technical knowledge is needed to use this. And as I already said, also this, that it's system independent. So if you can run Docker on your environment, then you can run this tool. And the link that was on the previous slide that led to GitHub account is exactly the same version that you can test behind this link that you can see here. And how we have used it, as I said, parts of these ECA materials, Estonian Academy of Arts materials, were migrated into these eArch SIP packages. And during that project, we also had some discussions with National Archives of Latvia, and they took this solution into test. I think it was right after the last DLM forum meeting. And then we should have had these preliminary discussions with this ongoing Dialogue City project, but instead I just talked with Sven, and it's still waiting for these discussions with this Dialogue City project. Also, a few sentences about these existing solutions that were migrated or transformed into eArK conformant solutions. So this DISEC YXA, it can now ingest SIP packages. It creates tape out of those, and it can export DIP packages. So it does everything that it should do. The SPIGEL workflow was a bit more complicated, and I'm not that well aware of what's actually happening behind or under the hood. But basically, it's built on unaltered archive Matica, and then these eArK SIP packages are converted into archive Matica SIP packages, which are then ingested into archive Matica, and so on. What I still need to say is that all these solutions are still waiting to be validated formally, so I would be a bit cautious if you are going to implement these solutions into your proprietary workflows or something else. Did I have anything more? Yeah. To conclude, well, if this action would not have been funded, then we would have been stuck with these existing quite difficult SIP creator solutions. Then we still would have 2 eArK conformant repositories less. Now we have this YXA and Archive Matica. And finally, these ECA collections would still be in vendor-specific systems, so behind a vendor login situation. And that's everything that I had to say on this presentation. Thank you.